Today's tech tip is Google Jamboard. I've been playing around with Jamboard, and it might be the answer to your whiteboard needs in class and virtually. Check it out. Thank you, Rufus, for that introduction. If you want to turn a picture of your cat or dog into a talking GIF, you can download the ChatterPix app on your phone and have some fun. But today we're going to talk about Jamboard. So let me go through a couple examples of Jamboards so you can get an idea of what they look like. So as some of you may know, I am a Star Wars fan. So I was pretty geeked when I found this Star Wars Connect 4 template. So the way this would work is, since Connect 4 is a two-person game, I could share it with someone and put a message and say, let's play. So once I share it with someone, they will get an email saying, let's play. Another way to share it is I could get the link and share the link with someone. So if I was in a Zoom meeting, I could just put the link in the chat. So right now, to get the link, it's restricted. So only people added can open the link. So only people added up here can open that link. I could open that up to, if I keep it to Washington local, then I know that only students or teachers can open the link. So you may want to keep it that way. Or you could, anyone with the link can, and then of course I would want them to edit it because it is a collaborative game. I want them to be able to move the pieces as I move the pieces. And then I would copy the link and put it in the chat if I was in a Zoom meeting or something. So now I can see that the other person has put their name in, and then I could just, Jamboard's kind of known for their sticky notes. So I would put my name in and then game on. I would move my piece down here. It's probably not the best option. And then the person I'm playing with would move their piece, and so on and so forth. And I can see who just moved their piece because it's got their icon. And I can see right here that it matches SH. Now, if I would have shared the link that was just wide open, that anyone could hop in, anyone that had the link could hop in, I may just get something that says like anonymous aardvark, if you've ever seen that in Google Documents, where you have like other people that are in the document, but they're not, you don't get a name. That's because they shared the link open with anyone. Another Jamboard, a real simple one. So pros and cons, that's a real easy Jamboard. Nice way to get started. You could be talking about a novel. You could be talking about, anything. What are the pros and cons of Twitter? Different things. And then everyone adds their opinion. Here's another template for just show some different ways that you can use Jamboard. And then here's a check-in. So you could have this, and then here's my little sticky note. I'm working just fine. I have questions. I need help. And then I can move my sticky note so that the teacher then can see that, can respond appropriately. So just know when you're doing a Jamboard, it is a collaborative activity, and these activities that I'm showing, you are sharing with multiple people. So for this one, someone else in the class could move my sticky note. Just, you want to keep that in mind. You don't want to make it real high stakes activity when you're doing a Jamboard. If you notice, there is no revision history here. So if I go back to my Star Wars background, you can see it was last edited 37 minutes ago. I could click on that, and if I was sharing this document with someone else, I would see who was messing with the document. With Jamboard, that's not the case. I have sent feedback to Google, not that they're going to listen to me, but saying, hey, I would like revision history, so I could see as a teacher who's writing something in case someone writes something inappropriately. So that's kind of why I said keep things low stakes when you're doing Jamboard. So I don't want to scare you away from Jamboard. I really think it's a great brainstorming tool, but I do want you to be aware of the limitations. All right, well, now let's get in there and do a Jamboard. I wanted to show you the Jamboard, show you the possibilities of it, And now, real quick, I'll show you how to make one. They're very easy. So, like many things in Google, you will find Jamboard in your waffle. You may have to scroll down a little bit. It may be way down here, but mine is right there. And remember, in your waffle, you can move things around. So if you're Jamboard and you're thinking you're going to use this a lot, you could definitely move this up. Right here are all my jams. And I'm going to click down here at the bottom right-hand corner is a little plus sign, and that's new jam. So that's how you create a new Jamboard. You can also create a Jamboard by going into your drive and typing new, more, and then Google Jamboard. So there's two different ways to create a jam, from your waffle and from your drive. The first thing with any document when you're creating a document in Google is you want to give it a name. You have different backgrounds that you can set, or you can leave it white. Set the background. There are the little dot ones, which is kind of nice for math. You could also do graph paper, and they have lined paper, and you have some chalkboard. So if you wanted to make it look like a chalkboard, you can. A new feature is you can actually add an image. So you can grab a document from your folder, from your desktop or something, and bring it as a background. Or you can do Google Photos, grab something from your Google Drive. You could just search something, or by URL. So I'm going to upload, and I'll show you what it looks like. So here's the Star Wars background I had, and then it drops it in there. And then I would have to create the little characters, and the way that I would create the little guys, the little moving Pete's, because I can't move this, because I don't want to be able to move that. I don't want students to be able to move that background. But I could put in an image. And so I could do a Google image search of and so that could be a little character for the game. And then of course my favorite thing is Control D. I could duplicate and make a whole bunch of them and put them in line. And we all love the undo button. The jams have an undo button, which is nice. There's a redo button. So if I want to put that guy back, I can zoom into the jam. I can clear the frame where I can just take everything out, but I'm going to undo that. Up here shows how many jams you have in your Jamboard. So I just have one, and if I click on that, I can add another one, and I could add another one over here. So I could add a beginning one. As we know, the skinny snowman always has wonderful things. So if you click on the snowman, you can duplicate that. So if I want to have two boards, which is what I did with the other one, so that I had two Star Wars boards, I could also delete it. And then you can add a bunch of boards. Plus, you could also add a board just by clicking the arrow again. It just keeps adding boards. And then if I want to delete that board, I can. So if you accidentally hit that arrow button and you're like, oops, I didn't mean to add another board, then you just want to click on that. It shows you the navigation bar and you can just delete. But I do like how you can see all your boards right here at the top. So I'm going to get a blank sheet here to show you the different options. So this is the paintbrush, and there's not a lot of colors, you know, but that's okay. Sometimes it gets overwhelming if there's too many options. So, you know, the kids will spend so much time trying to figure out what color they want. So this is the marker. So that's the marker. Here's the pen. So you can see they're a little different. And then the highlighter if I wanted to highlight something. If you look down here, this looks like a little eraser, and that's exactly what it is. I can erase. right here is just the select key, which there's nothing on the board to select, but if I would want to do that. This is kind of what Jamboard is known for, is the sticky notes. So if you click on the sticky note, you can type in a note to everyone, and you can change the background, and you can save it. You could have just a plain background, but what's the fun in that? And then you click save, and then you can move that sticky note around. And of course the skinny snowman, if you click on it, you can see the skinny snowman, and you have an option to duplicate the sticky note, delete the sticky note, or edit the sticky note. And as you notice, when I click on it, I have the option to rotate it a little bit. And I can make it even bigger. So that is the sticky note feature. You can add a shape. So if I open that up, here are my options for adding shapes. Whoops. So I can draw a shape there. I could add this to it. I can also change the order of the objects. I can't do that with the sticky notes, but I can change the order, so I could move that back. And then there's the text tool, which is just, you can click anywhere on there and say hello. And then this final thing down here is the laser pointer, and that is a nice feature if you wanted to highlight something for your students while you're teaching it, or while it's on the smart board. You can just circle something and then it goes away. That is that little laser pointer tool. All right, so we have our Jamboard here, and when you're ready to share it, let's say you're in class and you want to push it out to your students, you just click the share button, and you can get the link, or you could put in your class's email address right in here, and then you could share it and the students can access it. Oh, up here, I forgot to mention this. This is, like I said, Skinny Snowman. This is where you can make a copy of your jam. Another way to share your Jamboard is to share it in Google Classroom. So let me show you what that would look like. So I'm going to open up my Google Classroom. Now on the classwork page, I can create an assignment, and I'm going to call it Jamboard Example period 2, because I think I have another Jamboard example and I want to make sure I don't get them mixed up. I would put instructions if needed, and then here, when I'm going to add my Jamboard from my Google Drive. So for this one, I'm going to share the pros and cons Jamboard with this class. Now, right here, you need to decide how you're going to use this Jamboard in your class. Do you want each student to have their own individual Jamboard, or do you want everyone to work collaboratively on this one Jamboard? So if you want the students to be able to all collaborate on the one board, then you would say students can edit the file. If you want each student to have their own individual wipe-off board that they cannot see other students' contribution to that board, then you want to make a copy for each student. So for this assignment, I want everyone to collaborate on the pros and cons of Twitter. So I am going to say students can edit this file. Now, I personally would want to save this as a draft until I was ready to push it out to the students. And then when I'm ready, let's go down here. So here's Jamboard Example period 2. It's saved as a draft. I'd go in and edit it. I'd assign it. This would just take a couple seconds while they are in the class and I'm getting everything ready. I'm firing up my smartboard. I'm going to click assign. So you posted the assignment, and then you're going to direct your students who are now back in class to go to their Google Classroom and assignment. Here's the assignment. And they're just going to click on the pros and cons Jamboard. They can just click right there and it will open right up to the students. If I was doing this with my class, knowing that there is no revision history, I would direct the students to pick a sticky note, click on the skinny snowman, and edit the sticky note, put my name and my opinion, be it a con for Twitter or a pro for Twitter. And of course, there you would need to show them how to make another sticky note if you run out, but it's real simple. You just click the sticky note and then pick the color, write something, and then save and click off of the page. Another thing, if you wanted to get creative, you can add your Bitmoji to your Jamboard. So I'm going to right click on my Bitmoji, click copy. Now if you notice, I can't paste it. There's no paste option when I right click, but if I do Control V, it'll show up. So that's a little, it doesn't look like you can add your Bitmoji, but you can by just going up to the Chrome extension, copying whatever Bitmoji you like. So copy that image and then do Control V and your Bitmoji will show up. So just to make it a little personalized, you can add your Bitmoji. Fun, fun. If you wanted to use Jamboard remotely, like with your students, if they're on a Zoom call, maybe on a remote Wednesday, you can always share the assignment by copying the link for the assignment. I'm on the assignment here, Jamboard Example period 2, click the skinny snowman and then do copy link. You could drop that into the chat. Here I am signed in as Gabby. And I'm gonna drop this link to that assignment in the search bar and it will take me directly to the assignment. So this is really nice. So when you have students on a Zoom, it's sometimes a little hard to say, okay, everyone, open up a new tab, go to your Google Classroom, look on the assignment, yada, 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 when they're on a Zoom. But you could drop the link to the assignment. So here's my account by just clicking on the snowman, copying the link, and then putting it in the chat of your Zoom. And then this is where it will take your students. All they have to do is click right there. That takes them right to that assignment. And then they can just click on the Jamboard and get right to it. And you can obviously use that for any assignment, but it's a nice way so that the students can quickly get to the Jamboard. So that's just a little trick, little inside info on how you can share a Google Classroom assignment through a link. So that's Jamboard. It's really easy to use. I've used it with different groups on Zoom to brainstorm different ways we are using technology, and everyone just writes their information on a sticky note and then we move it around. You know, it's a really, I'm very impressed. I like it a lot. And it's easy. The only drawback is there is no revision history. So that's the only drawback. So once again, don't do real big high stakes sharing on a Jamboard. All right, have a great day.